Hello, I'm Cleopatra Wallace, and this video is all about Salvador Ramos. And today's date is May the 25th. Alright. And yesterday we had another mass shooting at an elementary school. So I don't want to go into what happened at the school. I want to reverse engineer this thing to what happened at his house that morning. So spirit guides, holy angels, and ancestors, gather around. This morning we're going to Uvalde, Texas, within a zip code of 78801. And I want to be there just yesterday. We are almost at 24 hours, but not quite. This unfolded at 11:30. The first shots were fired at 11:37, and the call went out to the police at 11:40. So spirit guys, I want to go to Uvalde, Texas, in zip code 78801. And I'm looking for a particular energy, a Salvador Ramos. He was just born a few days ago, celebrating his birthday. He wasn't just born a few days ago, but he celebrated his birthday a few days ago. His birthday was actually on May the 16th. Oh, we got one. May the 16th of 2004. He turned 18. His name is Salvador Ramos. He lives in zip code 78801. We want to know about his affairs yesterday morning on May the 25th of 2022. All right, we got 3. Just need one more. We wanted to know about Salvador Ramos' morning. What happened? All right, there we go. So we have all 4 cards. All right, they are jumping everywhere. They're quite talkative about this morning. So let's see what's in our first 4 cards. Again, we are focusing on Salvador Ramos. We're not going to go inside the school because we're going to respect the families, and we don't need to know what those children's last moments were like. We're wanting to know what happened with him that morning. All right. So the first card that came out dealing with Salvador Ramos is the 3 of Swords. Was, a card that has quite a bit of violence in it. So let's look at it and see what's on there. All right. Okay, so this would be the, I'm thinking this is when he killed his grandmother. Because they're pointing to this woman having a wound right here in the top part of her chest. All right, so we're going to, clarify that. Let's see what else is up here. We also have an 8 of Wands, which is a person in a car driving with a lot of guns. And as we know, he had a AR styled rifle and a handgun, some pretty powerful weapons this young man had. And it's important to note that on his birthday last week, on May the 16th of 2022, he went out and purchased those guns. So he was barely legal when he got them. He couldn't wait to get his hands on them. All right. So the next card that came out is the 4 of Wands, but this looks like a cafeteria scene to me. You have to remember this whole thing happened at 11:30. So that's got to be around lunchtime for some children. All right. Get the last card. Okay. And the last card that came out regarding Salvador Ramos is the Ace of Swords cards. Now, I don't know much about the makeup of Salvador, Texas. I've never been there, but they're referencing this underpath is what it looks like. Where a car goes under a bridge, and there's like a little undersection. And we know his car did crash, but it didn't crash under a bridge. It crashed into more like a concrete ditch. All right, so now the main card I'm wanting to move these down so you can see them. Is this card right here, the grandmother card. All right, so we're going to move these over and let's focus on the house. All right, Spirit, thank you for showing me how Salvador Ramos' morning started. But I'm wanting to focus in on the lady with the chest wound here. I'm getting the energy that this is of the grandmother. All right, so this one came down. All right, we got the Temperance card, which is a woman She could be pouring coffee. She's definitely in the it looks like she's either in the kitchen making some sort of breakfast or something. All right, so thank you, Spirit. We are definitely in the grandmother's energy. Can you tell me more about his feelings toward his grandmother? All right, so we got the Five of Swords came out. It kind of flipped over. And the Five of Swords is the in the Tarot Wonderland deck, it's the off with your head card. You know, the Red Queen, she's always wanting to correct people violently. All right, so let's go to another deck to try to clarify what they're trying to tell us about Grandma. All right, Spirit, you've shown me Salvador Ramos's house yesterday morning on May the 24th of 2022. We're digging into the affairs that happened before he left his house between him and his grandmother. Can you give me... All right, so we have the fortunate trip came out, which is somebody, you know, they're getting what they go after, like they went there for a specific reason and that reason was met. All right, now you're showing me him leaving the house. I don't necessarily want to see him leaving the house yet. I'm not ready to leave the house yet. Tell me more about the relationship between him and his grandmother as of May the 24th. All right. This card came out, the disillusionment card. So it was a difference of, we know it was a difference of generations, but it shows the woman turning her back and the man walking towards her or looking towards her. But this is, it's kind of like, I'm not saying like you've given up on the situation, but it is to where you have reached a conclusion that can't be resolved between the two of you. It's like if you want somebody to quit smoking, but they don't want to quit smoking, that sort of thing. All right. So to get some more on the mood of inside the house, I'm going to go to the Hermetic deck and make sure I got them all. All right, that's all. All right, Spirit, you showed me on May the 24th of 2022, Salvador and his grandmother had reached an, not an argument, but a situation that was not going to be able to be resolved. Can you tell me more about this situation between him and his grandmother? What? Oh, it flipped up and went right back down. What is going on and what cannot be resolved? All right. Got it. All right, so what came out is the Hangman. The Hangman is all about waiting. Fatty, I see you. I can see you, sweetie. You're fine. There's nothing wrong with you. Get down. All right. Sorry, my house cat. She is dying for my attention all of a sudden. Okay, on this Hangman card, the only thing I'm like really seeing, I was looking to see if there's anything else, but they just keep showing me like his exposed bottom right here. So I'm guessing this, you know, she might have been old school where she actually used to spank him as a child or something. All right, which is, you know, a lot of grandparents, you know, back in the day and still today, they would, you know, give you a few licks if you couldn't settle down. All right. So now that we got the energy of the grandmother, now we can get into the car. And this is in the car. He's in the car and he has the weapons. And after he had murdered his grandmother and left, there was actually a bolo out for him. So they were looking for him. I don't know if they were actively driving behind him, but they were looking for him when he crashed the truck in a ditch. All right, so now I'm wanting to know, where was he going right, Spirit, you show me Salvador Ramos in his car as of May the 24th. Let's put the time at 11:10. It's 11:10 a.m. We're in Uvalde, Texas, zip code 78801. All right, we got one car that came out. We're in the car now with Salvador. We wanted to know, where was he going originally? Was he always on the way to school? Where was he originally headed when the car crashed? No? Oh, I was about to say, not in here, and then they flew out. All right. Okay, so the two cards that came out on him being in the car, the first one that came out was the Two of Swords, and it's all about making choices. So let's have a look at it. In this card, there are no structures. It's just water in the background. And the other card that came out is the Knight of Cups, which is always somebody in motion. And it's important to note that the Knight of Cups, his cup is usually filled with rage, or what you can call crimes of passion, because he is the cups and he is the knight. So he moves on his emotions. He's like a slave to his emotion. All right, so they're just showing his state of mind. I'm wanting to know, where was he originally going? Because he was an actual student at the high school in Uvalde. But he went to the elementary school, which was grades 2 through 4 years old. So the kids inside of the school that he went in were roughly between the ages of 7 and 10 years old. Like, these are prepubescent children. All right, Spirit, you've shown me lots of things regarding Salvador Ramos this morning, but I'm still wanting to know, where was he originally going after he killed his grandmother? Where was he headed to? Was the school always the target? All right. So this is quite a bit. And when this many come out, I take the top and the bottom. And if the cards fall to the floor, I only read the ones that fall face down. All right, so we're trying to see where he was originally headed to. These two cards came out. All right, we have another Hangman to go along with this one. So this card is now doubled down, 2 Hangmans. All right, let's see what's on this one. Okay, so this one, on this Hangman card, it has a guy that has sort of, and it's usually only one person in the Hangman card. That's important to note too. So this extra guy being here, he's really being extra right now. He's not supposed to be in this card. But he's gonna come out of the, literally, he just pops up out of the background. And he's taking aim at this Hangman here. So we're trying to see where he was originally going. It looks to me like he was always headed towards people. I think the school may have just been like the biggest building filled with people at the time. But if there was like another building next to it, like a courthouse or like a stadium or something, he would have went in there. He had planned on aiming and shooting at somebody yesterday morning. And it also is important to note that the Hangman can't get away. You ever heard the expression, a captive audience? It's like when you're on a city bus and somebody starts playing their music really, really loud and you have no choice but to listen to it because you can't get off the bus because you're trying to go somewhere. That's having a captive audience. So he had always planned on, I don't want to say hunting people, but he had planned on terrorizing or hunting somebody that morning, somebody that was sort of where they were supposed to be and was going to be there for a set amount of time. So he was always up to no good. The other card that came out on where was he originally going is the Queen of Swords card. Now, gender in tarot is fluid, so you can go back and forth. But I don't think we're looking at the woman in this card at all. We're looking more at like these brick buildings. Like, this is a building, and if you turn the corner, it's another building. So this looks to me like a school atmosphere. It could be a brick house, but more likely than enough, this is the school. And like I said earlier, we are not going inside the school because we don't need to see the children's final moments. So we're going to stay outside the school. We're not going inside the school. All right. So let's go to... We're going to skip the cafeteria card because that's inside the school and I don't want to go inside the school. Let's go to the card where he's looking and kind of thinking of where to go. This is, of course, we're outside of the school. But I think at this point we may be outside of the car too. There was a little moment where he was outside of the car after it crashed and he could have went anywhere. So let's see what his mindset was like after the car crashed. Alright, and to do that, we're going to use the Nightmare Before Christmas deck. Alright, Spirit, we're still digging into Salvador Ramos' affairs. He was born on May the 16th of 2004. He was born on May the 16th of 2004. He was 18 years old as of yesterday of May the 24th of 2022. Right now, we're outside of the school. The school is located at 715 Old Carrizo Road in zip code 78801. There was a brief moment where he was outside of the car and outside of any building. Can you tell me what was on his mind during the moment when he was outside of the car? All right. 2 cards came out readily. Okay. So one is the Knight of Presents. And the next one is the 6 of Needles. Now, the Knight of Presents shows a little Santa in the workshop, or a little elf piece in Santa's workshop, checking a list. So there was a moment when he was outside of that car where he was like weighing things in his head. You know how you can think something over really quick, like I can go this way, I can go that way, but there seems to be some sort of a mental checklist he's going through right here. And it's important to know also that these stockings are stuffed. Like they're ready to go. They're ready to go up. When you fill the stocking, it goes up. And it's also important to note that May the 24th of 2022 was the second to last day of school. So, you know, these stockings are all ready to go up almost. Those kids were just about ready to get out of school. It was only 2 days left. The energy of this card is wanting to go, and I don't want to say like spoil something or ruin something, but thinking of like where you can have the most impact. And these stockings being full is like a major allegory on this card. Because the stockings are full, they're ready to go up. It's like canceling Christmas. And I'm sure those people who lost their children, they won't be thinking about Christmas for quite a while. Alright, so the next card to go up, or that came out, was the 6 of Needles. And these are his emotions while he's outside of the car and outside of the school. He's just in the open right now. He's in zip code 78801. It's May the 24th. We are right around somewhere between 10:55 and 11:05 a.m. They're showing me the way that he's this one leg is down and one leg is up. He could have injured himself when the car went into the ditch. I think he may have hurt one of his legs, and the school was just so close. It's just like, go ahead in there. But while he was outside of the car and outside of the school, he had a problem with one of his legs. I mean, he was just in a car accident. So going into school was it was premeditated, but it wasn't. If it had been another building there with just as many people, he would have went into there. All right. So we seen him at the house in the morning. We seen him inside of the car, what his mind was like, wanting to have the captive audiences. There's only one question left to ask, and that question is, why? Before the construction crew gets started up. It's 9 or something in the morning here. All right, Spirit, I'm going to ask you one more question regarding Salvador Ramos on the morning of May the 24th of 2022. I'm now wanting to know why we're in the zip code of 78801. Why did this all come about? Why did he kill his grandmother? Why did he go to the school? Why did any of this happen? And we are asking, oh, I think that, yeah. All right. So we have our why. Let's look at it. The first one, well, they both looked over at the same time, but the first one I'm going to read is the Three of Wands. And immediately, it's the ships coming in card. So you're waiting for something, you know, for your ships to come in. You're going to go somewhere. You're going to buy something or sell something. Let's see what else. Spirit says these ships aren't coming or going. Like they're not going anywhere, or maybe they're not his. But in this card, I'm getting a sense of he had no ships to come in. Like he didn't have absolutely anything to look forward to in his life. You know, the feeling of going nowhere fast. Like he's just looking at the clock and on the shore, but those aren't his ships, and that's probably not even his clock or watch. So this card has got the energy of going nowhere fast. Like, you know, you're on the shore, but you don't have ships. Like having a life that's not, has no purpose, or feeling like you're not gonna measure up. All right. The next card that came out was the Moon card. And the Moon is all about nighttime, planning, now you see me, now you don't type of energy. Copy. All right. Now, it's about this looking at this full moon, but it's important to note the moon was not full yesterday. Actually, we are in the last quarter of the moon. So the moon isn't full or new when this occurred. But it's important to note that during this part of the story in Tarot in Wonderland, this guy here wanted to eat these clams. So he had kind of charmed the clams to follow him back, and he was going to eat them. So it was like a little bit of deception going on here. But this is, I'm getting the energy of, I was thinking that he, flipped it over, that he was the walrus here, you know, tricking the clams, but Spirit says he's one of the clams. So I guess at one point in his life, he kind of followed somebody down the wrong path, or, you know, trusted somebody that he shouldn't have trusted. Wow. So he was at one point a victim, and had now felt like his life wasn't going to go anywhere. So this is a way of speeding up your destiny, making it happen now, which God does not like. All right, we'll leave it there, because it's my birthday today. I am Cleopatra Wallace. If you found this video interesting, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, because who knows what's going to happen next.